What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching the final episode of season 2 of The Boys. Whoa, this episode had my emotions literally all over the place. All over the place, you guys. I mean, I knew it was gonna end on a crazy note, but of course, in true The Boys fashion, it definitely did. So in this episode, we find out a little bit more about Huey and his mom. I thought his mom was dead, but apparently she's not. She just kind of left when he was younger. And it kind of explained why he was so clingy, why he fought so hard. It's because she left and he vowed to never leave, even if things got rough. So that's his little background story. Frenchie finally kind of understands how to communicate with Kimiko, which was really nice. So Stormfront and freaking Homelander are still trying to, I guess, try to take care of his son. At one point we see Homelander, he took the boy to the cabin where he normally is, and let's see. No, so I think what happened was they were at Vought. And the lady who takes care of everything, I don't know her name, I don't know, the one whose hair's falling out. What is her name? I keep forgetting. Anyway, she's trying to keep him busy while they're trying to figure out what's what. And so he just at this point wants to see his mom. And they don't want to take him back to her, so they take him to what looks like a superhero restaurant or something like that. So while they're there, people are starting to notice that Stormfront and Homelander are there. People start asking for pictures and autographs, and it's starting to get so overwhelming that the boy is kind of like now covering his eyes and his face, and he just doesn't want to be there anymore. So Homelander takes him and flies off. Meanwhile, you see Stormfront kind of standing there looking like, why did they leave just like that? Like, chick, mind your business, okay? So he ends up taking him to the cabin. Stormfront shows up, and it just a small percentage, it looks like Homelander is trying to be a father. He is kind of trying to figure out how to console him and try to protect him and kind of keep him safe. And Stormfront's kind of pushing him to talk to him and everything. And it works for the most part. So they get to the point where they're outside and Homelander is trying to teach him how to, I guess, to kind of use his lasering or whatever. It's not working. And Stormfront comes in and she's talking to him about how they need him because there's a war going on, and she really shows her true racist card here. She definitely shows her racist side. I forget word for word what she says, but she basically says, like, it's all like they need to just take over in her true Nazi form, okay? So I'm like, yo, this chick has some nerve. And Homelander's kind of looking at her like, okay, is this how you're supposed to parent? Okay, I'll go with that. And I'm just like, oh my god. Meanwhile, Butcher and the whole crew is trying to figure out ways to get, you know, take down Vought and Homelander, and trying to figure things out. So we see that Becca finally escapes. So she's on the run and she ends up finding her way to Butcher. She remembered that Butcher told her where he's staying at. So she shows up. Now she's there meeting the crew and everything. So she's safe there for now. Meanwhile, Starlight and Huey are on the road. I forgot where they were going. But immediately A-Train shows up in the car. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Like, how did you even get in the car? It was one of those, like, weird things. But anyway, he took a file a very confidential file, gave it to them. I was like, you guys never saw me. I didn't give this to you. You're on your own. So apparently it was a file in regards to Stormfront. So they're like, oh my gosh, like this is everything that we need. So they take it to the crew, and now they got everything that they need. So now they're really going to get a plan in order to get Homelander and Stormfront and figure everything out. So meanwhile, now Becca's like, yo, I'm coming with you. They got my son. I need my son, right? So they got this plan. Now Butcher makes a deal with Edgar that they get the son from Homelander. They take him away. Becca never sees him. In turn, Butcher stays with Becca. And that's that. But during this time where he is trying to save Becca and finally get his son, he changes his mind. So they set up all these weird noises that happen. So while Homelander and his son were at the cabin, things get leaked about Stormfront. She's a Nazi and she was married to the Mr. Vought, and all these things are coming out, and now Stormfront is like on defense mode. She flies off somewhere. Alarms start going off. Homelander's trying to figure out what's going on. He steps away. He flies out somewhere. Meanwhile, Butcher comes in with Becca, takes the son, takes them to where they're hiding out at. Not where they live at, but they're hiding out in this field or whatever. And so I guess the SWAT team kind of shows up in the midst of Butcher changing his mind because he sees that Becca's going to stop at nothing to get her son. So he changes his mind. He takes Becca and the son back to the boys, and MM is like, yo, like this is not the part of the plan. What's happening? Why are you here? So now he's got to go back to kind of figure out how to deal with that part while they go away. While they are trying to get away, Stormfront shows up as MM is trying to take Becca and the son to Mallory to get them safe with the CIA. Stormfront shows up, flips the car that they're on. I'm sitting, you guys have to go see my reaction. I thought that they were just done. I thought that she killed them. I'm like, oh my God, in my head, I'm like, Homelander finds out he's going to kill Stormfront himself. But that didn't happen. So now Starlight is like kind of fighting her. And of course, Kamiko wants a piece of that too because she killed her brother. So now they're going at it. Butcher goes and runs to the car. He takes Becca and the son and literally just starts running. MM stays behind. Now Frenchie and Huey are trying to kill Stormfront, right? She's going at it with Starlight. Now Kamiko's also going at it. They're fighting, and Stormfront is just kicking their butts, and then Maeve shows up. Maeve shows up. Now they're all kicking Stormfront's ass, and I'm sitting, y'all gotta go see my reaction. I was getting such satisfaction from watching her get her ass kicked. Oh man, I thought they were gonna get her and just be done with her right then and there, but Stormfront eventually escapes. She flies off, and that was like, to me, that was just like probably the best part of the episode, right? So anyway, so now Butcher and Becca and the son are on the run. They're running. Now all of a sudden they're in the middle of the woods, and Stormfront shows up. Stormfront shows up looking as beat up as she can. Now she's choking Becca out and everything, and Becca, I forgot she had like a knife on her. She stabs her in the eye. Here comes Butcher trying to shoot her, and it's not working. The son, meanwhile, is standing there looking at everything, and all of a sudden, he's getting so worked up because he sees that Stormfront is choking the hell out of Becca, and now he is able to use his power. He literally lasers in, and then the screen goes white. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And Butcher starts waking up. And you see smoke. And then you hear someone's voice, and it's Stormfront. And you see her laid up, limbs gone, burnt up, mumbling, I guess, in another language. And I don't know what she's saying. But Ryan, who's the son, he's sitting back, he's crying. He's like, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. Butcher looks back. I really got teary-eyed watching this part of this episode. The son mistakenly also lasered her, and she's like gushing out blood, and Butcher's holding her, and she's begging Butcher, just take care of him. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. And he's crying, and the boy's just sitting there, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm just sitting here like holding back, because I'm like, oh my, I'm so emotional. And unfortunately, she dies. And then here comes Homelander. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. How can this continue to get any worse? And I thought for sure, like, something crazy was going to happen. So Butcher's standing there. The son is standing there. Homelander's looking at him all bloodied up because he killed the whole SWAT team that was at his cabin. So he's like, come here. Did you do this? He's like crying over Stormfront's body, and the boys, you see him moving behind, Butcher, and he's threatening to really kill him. And all of a sudden, Maeve shows up. No, you're not. And he's kind of standing there trying to threaten her, but she shows him the clip of the airplane scene when they were inside. She was like, you do anything to them, this goes live. So she's like, you're going to leave them alone. You're going to let them go. You're going to stop hunting down Starlight. You're going to leave me and Elena alone. So, thankfully, nothing happens. Butcher walks away with the boy. Maeve, nothing happens to her. He's gone. So now they're all on this conference. And they're blaming everything on Stormfront. Butcher's sitting down with the son, and he gives him a necklace, and they're having a moment. The boy goes off with Mallory. He goes off. MM gets reunited with his daughter and his wife, and Huey wants to, do things the right way. So I'm rooting for him and Starlight. So him and Starlight are talking, and, he's like, I think I just kind of need to do things on my own and stop being so clingy. But I think they're going to stay together. Meanwhile, the congresswoman, oh, by the way, the guy who's in charge of the whole church of whatever, he sends A-Train. He knows A-Train is the one that took the file, but he sends him off to Vought, but he's keeping the Deep. So the Deep is not, he did him dirty. And I'm like, at first I know I didn't like him or whatever, but now I kind of feel a little sorry for him. And I'm like, man, he signed off everything and he's still not part of Vought still? Like, what are they doing with him? What are they possibly going to do with him? I guess we'll have to figure it out in season 3. But anyway, so A-Train is home free. He's back. Everybody's kind of back to normal. But the congresswoman is talking to the guy on the phone that's in charge of the whole church of whatever. And so they're in talks of something with the Vought and everything, and he hangs up the phone, and his freaking head blows up. And then you see her standing behind the gate of his office, and her eyes just kind of glaze over in white. And I'm like, oh, is she a terrorist? I'm like, whoa. Is she the one behind everyone's heads exploding? Like, is she doing this? Like, what is happening? She's running for Congress. I'm like, oh boy, this is interesting. And of course, she goes to her office, and Huey is there basically asking for a job to work with her because he wants to do things the right way. Right way, my ass. We have to see what happens on season 3. But man, season 2, 5 out of 5 toodles for me. Man, I tell you, this series literally will have you mad, happy, sad, pissed off, emotional, angry, with anxiety, in shock. Like, this series has got literally, it will make you feel every emotion possible. They are doing an absolute great job at this series. Clearly, every season, well, there's only 3, so I've only seen 2, but this season is just more than the last. And just when you think you saw everything, you haven't seen anything yet. And just when you see something gross, you see another thing. Oh, how can I forget? Homelander is now on some ish. He's like in the dark. You see him in the air. I can do anything I want. I can do whatever I want. And he's up there on a ledge handling his own business. It's like, really, I could have done without that. I could have really done without that, but it's expected with The Boys. There you have it, you guys. Final episode, season 2 of The Boys. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review, my thoughts. I think that this Congresswoman is no good. I don't know what's going to happen to the Deep. They're probably going to find some new people in here. Huey is going to get caught up in some more mess working with the Congresswoman. Butcher is going to continue on with his old ways, I think. The crew's not done yet. I don't know. We'll have to see. But let me know what you guys think of this final episode. Leave your comments down below. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit like, share. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. Look forward for my reaction and review tomorrow for first episode of season 3 of The Boys. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!